Hey everybody, how's it going? My name's Fetty Michael. I'm going to be talking to you today about navigating student life, extracurriculars, and clubs during your time at community college and during your time transferring into any university. It doesn't have to be UCLA. I know we cater to a lot of UCLA students, but this applies just broadly to any future endeavors you go on. You could contact me at fettymichael@g.ucla.edu if you have any questions about the program, or if you just have any questions about things in this slide and you would like more individualized information. So I'd like to first talk about finding your social sphere throughout academia. And this is more general, so not as specific as, finding clubs, for instance, that suit your interests. One of the ways that you could really find your social sphere throughout academia or throughout any professional work, social environment is by becoming an active student. You could attend your teacher's office hours. You can join the class group chat. You could even make a group chat. I know at UCLA we use GroupMe. I'm not so sure if there's a similar platform at Moorpark College. You could also attend study sessions, which are hosted by classmates, or you could even offer to get together. You can also ask questions during class. All of these are ways that will engage you in the class and make you an active student, which will ultimately feed back to finding people with similar interests, right? So something that is also an added bonus of becoming an active student, this is primarily for students who are planning on going to graduate school. So whether that's medical school, whether that's a PhD, MD, PhD, law school, or anything that actually requires a letter of recommendation. Having your teachers know you is super critical, super important, especially in community college where there's a lot of classes that circulate quickly. So by interacting with your students, classmates, sorry, not your students, by interacting with your classmates, interacting with the teacher, and sort of building that rapport, that connection, you are setting yourself up to having a really strong letter of recommendation in the future. I absolutely cannot stress this enough. I'm currently applying to medical school, and I found it a little difficult to actually find some professors to ask letters of recommendation because I didn't participate as much as I wanted to, looking back at it. So something else that you could do is just reach out to classmates, talk to classmates around you. Um, Little icebreakers such as, hey, like, how was this assignment? How did you study for it? Do you know what was on this lesson? Typically, students around you are going to also have similar questions. So you could kind of start a conversation through that method. And essentially, throughout time, you can build these natural connections that are just going to sort of flourish and find some cool friends. I for sure found some cool friends just by asking about the homework, asking what they got on question 4, question 5. Just started these really great relationships that I still have to this day. So the more often you attend class and engage with others, the more likely that you're going to find people with similar interests, bottom line. So I'm going to talk about now getting involved with extracurriculars and clubs during your time at Moorpark College, specifically for now. I'd like to first preface by talking about ASMC and the importance of ASMC with Moorpark College. So it's the student body and the government of Moorpark College. They essentially strive to create the best academic environment. So if you see a lot of flyers talking about events that the school is hosting, or you see a lot of infographics bringing attention to certain things that you might not have thought of, it's typically the ASMC. If advocating for student well-being, creating fun and exciting opportunities for students, promoting diversity, equity, and education, and helping fund student clubs is something that interests you, you could actually inquire about joining ASMC. I'm not so sure what the formal review or application process is of that, but I linked here Christine Robinson, who's the current ASMC advisor, and you could contact her at this email over here. Or you could stop by the student activities office. When I would go to the student store to grab Scantrons, I would always see them just hanging out, talking, have a good time. So you could go see if you vibe with them, see if you connect, and yeah, start building some connections that way. So, this is going to segue. So ASMC is also responsible for holding the club fair, which is the major method that we connect with other clubs, or as we as students connect with clubs during our time at Moorpark College. So I'm not so sure if it's formally called Club Fair or Club Rush. However, it's held by the ASMC, and the fall dates are going to change every fall. So if you're watching this in fall of 2023, you should probably contact the people that are in charge of organizing this club rush. Typically, if you contact Fountain Hall, they can help you out with all your needs. When in doubt, just contact Fountain Hall. That's what I would always do. The spring dates are sensitive. But yeah, you're gonna always find it falling between September for fall, and spring will always be Tuesday, January 31st and Wednesday, February 1st, if I understand correctly. You can connect with ASMC on Instagram, and you can also view ASMC announcement via something called the Canvas Shell. So it's basically like an email blast to just really stay in loop with what's going on around Moorpark College. They host some pretty cool events, and you can find some pretty cool people that way too. You can find a comprehensive list of all available clubs through this link. You don't have to attend Club Fair in order to join a club. Club Fair just makes it a little more convenient to find some clubs and connect with the members in there. So I'd also like to talk about this professional development opportunity. There's something called the Moorpark College Leads program, and it's an extracurricular fall-based specific program. And it's going to provide you with professional skills that will help not just academically, but in life in general. I have some friends that did this during my time at Moorpark College, and it seems like they enjoyed it. So fall 2023 leads information can be found at this link over here. However, when I was doing research for this presentation, it seemed that they did not update their dates yet. So if you're watching this video in fall 2023 or sometime around there, you should have a more definitive answer for what the date is for that. So I'd like to talk about finding your social sphere throughout university now. I know that this is Moorpark College to UCLA, but this really caters to any UC you apply to or any university in general. They're all going to, have these opportunities available. I just want to talk about UCLA clubs versus community college clubs to begin with, because there's a pretty big difference. So UCLA has a really diverse range of club sizes. I just put here some clubs that came to mind that are offered on the website, but I believe there's over 1,000 student organizations and clubs. So these range anywhere from 5 to 200 people. So you can get some really massive clubs, really massive ethnic organizations that tailor to different needs, tailor different worldviews. You could find religious organizations, creative pursuits, things that involve your identity, who you are as an individual, your interests. There's literally all interests that you could think of. It'll be offered at UCLA. It's pretty great. You could browse through the list of clubs by accessing this link over here. So maybe you could start heading towards planning maybe what you want to join when you do transfer to UCLA or transferring to any university for that matter. If you want to search other clubs at other universities, if you search, let's say UC Riverside, you search UC Riverside club opportunities, you could find something that probably follows a similar search category as everything that you'll see on this webpage over here. So I would like to note something important of UCLA clubs. Moorpark College, the clubs that I've experienced, they're really laid back and they're quite simple to get into. You just email the director and you join a club meeting. And if you don't want to go, it's really not a big deal. You don't have to feel obliged by going to a club meeting means you have to be in the club. It's totally normal for people to just stop by, poke their head in, see if you get along with the club, see if you really click with everyone. And if you don't, it's totally fine. You could find another club or you don't have to join a club. So some clubs, though, require a very stringent application process. I'm linking the student stroke team in particular because this is a club that really stood out to me because of just how intensive it is, but it is also a very rewarding club. You can go ahead and read this if this interests you, but we could see here that this is a really, really interactive club. So it's not just interacting now with other club members, but you are interacting with patients, you're interacting with doctors, you're interacting with faculty, you're interacting with staff. So clubs like this are going to be very competitive because a lot of students want to join them. So please don't be deterred by these clubs. It's always worth it to just send out an application. I sent out tens of applications to clubs. I got rejected by a few, but I also got into a couple, and turns out I really enjoyed my time at UCLA, just being in those clubs. So you could contact sorry about that. You could contact like the signatories. There should be emails here on the link that I linked over here. It should be a little more comprehensive with who you contact, the club president, and ask them about their process of admitting new members and if it's competitive, if you need to have an essay. Some might require a certain grade point average, so you could contact them regarding all that information. So just building more on finding your social sphere throughout university. UCLA is huge. Any UC is huge compared to Moore Park College. So it's totally normal to feel overwhelmed during the transfer process. I could tell you, I for sure did. Super overwhelming, like now you're in a school with 40,000+ people. It's normal to totally feel overwhelmed, but there's a lot of resources, especially for transfers. So something that I utilized when I was transferring to UCLA was the Transfer Resource Center. You could check more about the Transfer Resource Center over here. You could also follow their Instagram. They had some pretty cool game nights, and I met some really, really awesome people. Really awesome people that actually also came from Moore Park College, Ventura, Oxnard, all those sister colleges, and some people that came from Pasadena City College, up north, Santa Monica City College. So you could really find some people that are going through a similar collective experience of transferring together and do some cool things with them. So as far as Club Rush goes for UCLA, there's something called the Enormous Activities Fair, and it's held Tuesday, September 20th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. PST in the Royce Quad. So that's going to be the big UCLA buildings that people typically think of when they think of UCLA. A ton of clubs, ton of organizations. I saw clubs anywhere ranging from building rocket ships to smoking weed, going on hikes, DJs mixing music, like ukulele club. Like it's pretty awesome how many clubs there are, and there's no specific type of club that UCLA doesn't offer. Something else I'd like to talk about is, I'll move this over here. Go ahead and join an intramural sports team. Super fun. My buddy told me to join volleyball. I never played volleyball. I'm not a volleyball player, but I had a blast, and a lot of other people are there just to have fun. You can meet some really cool people, hang out with them afterwards. And yeah, it's really awesome. Super laid back, super stress-free. So yeah, I think that's everything that I have for you guys today. Best of luck with the entire process. I know it might seem a little stressful, but it's super fun once you get there, regardless of where you go. Once again, my name is Fetty, and you could contact me at this email over here if you have any other questions. So thanks.